The phone felt heavy in my hand as Tyler's voice crackled through from Maui, waves crashing in the background like some expensive soundtrack to his new life. Dad, you should see this view. Ocean suite, private lanai, everything first class. His tone carried that easy confidence I used to admire, the one that masked something sharper now. I sat in my wheelchair by the window of my Austin home, staring at the bank alert still glowing on my screen, $82,000 wired out 2 days earlier while I slept. My entire life savings, gone in a single transaction. Sounds nice, son, I replied, keeping my voice even. Inside, something tightened, a slow burn starting deep in my chest. Tyler had always been ambitious, the kind of kid who saw the world as a ladder to climb. But lately, that ambition had turned sharp around the edges, especially when it came to me. How's Lauren enjoying it?
Oh,
She's in heaven. Her mom picked the resort 4 seasons,
Volcano Tour.
the works. We saved forever for this. The lie landed softly, almost casually. I knew the account history. The wire had been scheduled weeks ago, right after their engagement dinner where Tyler's future mother-in-law, Eleanor Grant, had eyed my modest home like it was a charity case. 3 weeks earlier, at that dinner in our living room, Eleanor had swept in wearing pearls and a designer bag that cost more than my annual teacher salary back in the day. Tyler, honey, how long has your father been managing on assistance? She asked,
Not quite looking at me.
Tyler stood behind my chair, hands on the handles like I was furniture. Since the Iraq injury in 2008. Lost both legs to an IED. VA takes care of him mostly. Eleanor nodded with polished sympathy. Bless the veterans. Still, it must be challenging. Lauren squeezed Tyler's hand, murmuring something about not needing to discuss it. But Tyler cut in. Dad gets by on his checks. Not a fortune, but enough for one person in this big house. The words hung there, casual dismissal dressed as practicality. I had smiled quietly then, letting it pass.
Now,
With the savings drained to fund their luxury escape. Those words echoed louder. I thought back to the birthday dinner at that upscale steakhouse downtown. Tyler had booked the private room for Lauren's 28th, inviting half a dozen colleagues from Apex Innovations, the hot tech firm where he was a lead developer pulling serious money with stock options and bonuses. I'd rolled in, sharing an old story from my classroom days teaching advanced math at Austin High. Some of those kids didn't believe they could handle calculus until we broke it down together, I said. Tyler's face flushed. Dad, come on. Nobody here wants old high school tales. One of his teammates, Alex Rivera, leaned in curiously. How many years did you teach? 16, I answered. Best years of my life before deployment. Tyler laughed. Short and bitter. Best job? You made peanuts teaching kids who probably forgot it all. I clear that in a quarter now. The table quieted. Lauren looked down. Eleanor smiled that thin, superior smile. Tyler's right, Robert. Teaching is sweet, but real ambition builds empires. I let the silence stretch, feeling the weight of every dismissive glance. Those kids Tyler mocked had grown into Austin's tech power players, CEOs,
CTOs,
VCs, who still reached out quietly for advice on complex systems. But classified work stayed classified, even from family. Tyler saw a man in a wheelchair collecting disability, not the strategist earning $340,000 yearly hunting digital threats for the Pentagon, shaping defenses that protected the nation's grids and banks. That money he stole wasn't luxury cash. It was layered meaning, $25,000 from emergency medical reserves for wheelchair upgrades the VA didn't cover fully, $32,000 I'd quietly set aside as a wedding gift for their first home down payment, the rest from selling my pre-injury house. life insurance from my squad mate who didn't return, and careful savings from teaching years. Dreams of quiet travel to honor fallen friends. Simple freedoms I still chased despite the chair. After the theft, small signs had piled up. Tyler asking pointed questions about my monthly payments, suggesting I downsize to free up excess cash he could help invest. Family visits became drive-bys. Phones out. Talk of my future care needs. Eleanor sent listings for assisted living. If unchecked, they'd seize control, power of attorney, decisions, dignity, viewing me as a burden rather than a man who'd given legs for the freedoms they enjoyed. But worse was the bigger picture for my work. I tracked networks where entitlement bred exploitation, people who justified taking from the weak because they believed themselves smarter.
Destined.
Tyler was sliding into that mindset. Dangerous in tech, where trust and ethics decided contracts and clearances. He needed a lesson in consequences, delivered through the very system he dismissed. On the call, his bragging continued. This trip is networking gold, Dad. Eleanor's connections in real estate and finance could open doors for years. Then the shift, Dad. About the account I was going to tell you. We borrowed it temporarily. Better returns than that dusty savings. You weren't using it anyway. The burn intensified. Borrowed without asking? Silence. Then waves and calculation. Look, you're not traveling or starting businesses. We're building our future. We'll repay eventually. Over time. Eventually? I pressed.
When?
5 years? 10. He laughed lightly. Come on.
Don't make it dramatic.
You're not planning big adventures anymore. Be reasonable. We can't cancel the honeymoon now. The words landed like shrapnel. My son reducing my remaining years to irrelevance. Justifying theft as investment. Tyler. That money is 30 years of sacrifice. What if your boss took company funds for vacation?
Different, he snapped.
That's stealing from work. This is family helping family.
Besides,
most of it's old, disability. Teacher pay from forever ago.
old.
Irrelevant. The core contempt surfaced. I was small. A burden on checks. While he chased empire. You have 72 hours to make it right, I said quietly. He scoffed. Or what? Sue your own son? Destroy the family over cash? I'm building something big here. I ended the call, staring at the graduation photo on my desk, the proud teen who once hugged me, thanking me for believing in him. That boy was buried under entitlement. Time to remind Austin's tech world who shaped their foundation. Rolling into my secure home office. The 3 monitors flickered alive under Pentagon authentication, fingerprint, retinal, protocols most developers only dreamed of accessing. My $340,000 salary came from dissecting cyber threats that could cripple cities, training teams on countermeasures, analyzing flows, funding global risks.
Classified.
Even from Tyler. He pictured disability checks and pity. Reality was strategic asset status. Messages waited. Urgent briefings from defense contacts. Backlog from my brief absence handling the theft. One call stood out, Marcus Klein, CEO of Apex Innovations, where Tyler worked. Marcus had been phoning weekly, urging me onto his advisory board. The kid I tutored in 1996 after school, struggling with proofs until I taught him cause-effect logic, control inputs, predict outputs. Robert, you missed our strategy session, Marcus said when I returned a call. Everything okay on the family front? I kept it light, handling some personal matters. Marcus, remember that lesson on consequences? He chuckled. Actions produce predictable results. I built Apex on systematic thinking you drilled into me. We talked briefly. I accepted the advisory role, requesting entry to their quarterly celebration that night at the downtown Grand Hotel. Marcus was thrilled. Security will add you to VIP. This is huge. Robert. Scrolling my encrypted alumni database, 47 executives I'd mentored from 1989 to 2005 at Austin High. Names like Sophia Patel, now CTO at Nexus Dynamics, who cracked polynomials under my after-school guidance. Jordan Ellis, VC at Lone Star Capital, mastering stats through tailored problems. They ran the ecosystem Tyler dismissed as beneath notice. Tyler's file showed senior developer status. $278,000 salary.
Stock vesting.
Clearance upgrade pending, requiring character vetting from cleared personnel like me. I noted the flag. Personal character assessment required prior to upgrade.
Cause and effect.
Tyler assumed powerlessness. He misread the system entirely. The hotel ballroom buzzed with 300 tech professionals in cocktail attire. Open bar flowing. Toasts to Apex's record quarter. I entered in dress uniform. Medals gleaming. Wheelchair polished. Whispers followed, the veteran drawing respect before recognition. Tyler spotted me near the bar with Lauren, Eleanor,
And teammates.
his color drained. Dad, what are you doing here? Voice cracked. Marcus invited me. Discussing professional ties. Eleanor scanned me with distaste. Robert. The uniform, how quaint. Lauren offered weak politeness. We're surprised. That's all. Why surprised? I asked calmly. This is precisely where strategic consultants network. Tyler edged closer. Maybe private talk? I turned to Alex. Heard you're on the defense authentication project. Clearances can hinge on character. Tension thickened. Marcus appeared. Everyone, meet Robert Hayes, our new strategic advisor with deep cyber and contracting expertise. Silence fell. Tyler's mouth worked silently. Marcus continued introductions. Pentagon-level work. Classified systems. Eleanor's tone warmed artificially. Didn't know you were in tech. Robert. 30-plus years in cyber defense. Military and civilian. Tyler stammered. Dad. You never said. I smiled faintly. Classified stays classified. The group absorbed it. Clearances meant premium contracts. I handed Alex printed statements. Pre-theft balance $82,000. Post-theft $0. My life savings. Wired out without consent for a Hawaii honeymoon. Gasps rippled. Tyler believed I was worthless on assistance. Told me my remaining life wasn't worth the sum. Lauren gasped. Tyler. The crowd grew. Tyler exploded. Dad. You're humiliating me in public. You stole privately. I countered steadily. Public discussion fits. He called my service charity. Disability a burden. Eleanor intervened. Misunderstanding. Shirley. I addressed her directly. When your son-in-law labels his disabled veteran father irrelevant and theft as smart networking, is that misunderstanding? 50 people listen now. Marcus pulled me aside briefly, but I insisted on openness. Important Tyler understands who I am. Marcus recognized me fully then, his old teacher. Mr. Hayes, room 212. Austin High? You taught me calculus. Logic actions have consequences. Color left Tyler's face completely. Marcus recounted sessions. How my principals built Apex. I listed alumni. Sophia Patel. Jordan Ellis. Others, executives across competing firms, all crediting classroom foundations in ethics and thinking. Intelligence without character is cleverness. Cleverness without ethics endangers. Tyler whispered. Why never tell me? Tried. You called teaching unambitious. My life wasted. Marcus marveled. You shaped Austin Tech's core generation. The explosion built. Tyler stole $82,000 from my savings. Justified it as investment because he saw me powerless. Marcus hardened. True. Tyler faltered. Family stuff will repay. Marcus turned to me. Robert. Your current role? Classified Pentagon contractor. Cyber warfare analysis. Top secret clearance. $340,000 protecting infrastructure. Tyler nearly collapsed. Marcus processed. You hid this even from family? Classified means classified. I explained a character issue. Theft from perceived weak victim revealed willingness to exploit vulnerability, risky for clearances and contracts. Marcus's expression turned to stone. Tyler. Your pending top-secret upgrade tied to our new defense work. Character evaluation is mandatory. Realization hit the group. My clearance and personal knowledge position me as evaluator. Tyler begged. I'll repay immediately loan. Sell options.
Anything.
This past money long ago, I said. It's who you become when no one watches. Marcus phoned HR discreetly. Emergency termination. Character violation. Clearance risk. Returning. He demanded Tyler's badge and laptop. Effective immediately. Lauren clutched his arm. Over family issues? Marcus replied coolly. Over demonstrated traits incompatible with our values and government contracts. Stealing from a disabled veteran he viewed as weak shows how he'd treat clients or classified data. Eleanor protested. He's young. Mistakes happen. I countered quietly. 30 years old. I taught 15-year-olds right from wrong. Phones buzzed. Words spreading via alumni networks. Group texts lit up. Confirmation of their legendary teacher. Outrage over the theft. Calls for consequences. By morning, Tyler faced blacklist whispers across Austin Tech. Sarah Patel texted Marcus directly. If that's Mr. Hayes' son who stole. He's untrustworthy anywhere our community reaches. Similar from others, essentially every major player. Tyler called me sobbing the next afternoon. They fired me publicly. Applied everywhere, rejected instantly. Culture fit, they say. I listened without interruption. What did you expect?
So,
Not total destruction of my career. Sarah explained. She said character trumps talent. Stealing from your father shows you can't be trusted. He broke. Lauren's threatening divorce. Eleanor blames us both. I'll lose everything. You lost it when theft seemed reasonable. Genuine remorse crept in. I know it was wrong. Thought you didn't need it like we did. That you were just maintaining. Even if broke on minimal assistance, it was mine, earned through service and sacrifice. Long pause. I see that now. But if you were truly powerless, would I still know it was wrong? Another pause.
yes.
Because it violates dignity, not power. Beginning of understanding. I guided further. Responsibility. No shortcuts. Respect inherent in every person, especially the vulnerable. Forgiveness isn't the ask. Can you learn and become better? 3 months later, Tyler knocked, looking humbled, thinner, eyes clearer without arrogance. Dad. I wheeled to the living room. He handed a cashier's check for $82,000. Sold the Tesla. Liquidated options. We downsized to a 1-bedroom. I'm in San Antonio now. Basic development at $36,000. But honest. I set the check aside. Money wasn't the core. I know. Returning it was step 1. I learned I judged worth by status and income, including yours. Respect belongs to everyone, especially those who sacrificed. More layers. Your war hero. Master teacher. Security expert who built minds behind this city's boom. Accomplished more than I will. I corrected gently. Even without any of that, I deserved basic dignity. Worth isn't tied to achievements or money. He nodded deeply. Stealing violates dignity. Period. Then harder news. Lauren and I divorced. She enabled the mindset. Embarrassed by you not fitting her family's success image. Never challenged my flaws. What now? Continuing in San Antonio. Volunteering weekends at Veterans Center. Teaching computer skills to disabled vets transitioning out. Helps me grasp real service. What you did in Iraq. What you do now. What you gave in classrooms. Chasing status wasn't building meaning. I asked the pivotal question. If you could redo it, I'd ask about your work instead of assuming. Listen to teaching stories. Treat you with earned respect from service. Never take the money, offer help instead. Growth showed. Can we start fresh? Learn to be the son you raised. You always were that son. I just needed to teach the man. We planned slow rebuild. Conversations, choices, service acts. I mentioned the 47 alumni eager to meet the evolved son of their teacher, if he proved worthy through character. We sat in silence. Father and son bridging veteran and civilian, teacher and learner. Tyler finally spoke. Tell me about Iraq. Your students. The Pentagon work. I want to know you truly. I began sharing quiet stories of loss and resilience. Classroom breakthroughs. The weight of national protection. He listened fully. No phone. No judgment. In the weeks after, small changes emerged. Regular calls checking on me genuinely. Offers of practical help without agenda. Volunteering expanding his perspective on quiet strength. Austin Tech remained closed to him initially. But character work opened unexpected doors elsewhere, smaller firms valuing integrity. Veterans networks honoring service lineage. The lesson lingered. Power hides in principle. Respect is baseline. Consequences follow choices, regardless of perceived status. Yet the haunting question remains for all of us, when no one important watches. Do we choose dignity for others? Or justify taking because we believe ourselves entitled? Tyler's journey suggests change is possible, but only through facing the mirror of our own underestimation.